How did these regional languages originate?
I was speaking about the two groups of languages. Now, the North Indian languages I was speaking about can be regarded as the languages belonging to the Indo-Aryan group of language, Indo-Aryan family. And the other, the South Indian languages, they belong to the Dravidian group of languages. Now, the North Indian languages, their evolution was during this period particularly, it was very slow, and they were in their incipient form or rudimentary form. Just it has evolved. But compared to that, as it will be evident from the course of our discussion, that South Indian languages belonging to the Dravidian group, they had emerged, they had evolved or grown comparatively in an earlier age, and during this time they had attained the stage of maturity. We have Sanskrit in the Vedic period, Vedic Sanskrit, language of the Aryans, and the first written work, first literature is the Vedas, Vedic literature. From that Vedic Sanskrit, we have classical Sanskrit. Classical Sanskrit came into vogue or was patronized during the Gupta rule. Classical Sanskrit gave way to four Prakrits spoken in four different parts of the country. One was Magadhi, spoken in Magad region, Shauroshini in Mathura region, Poishachi in northwestern part of the country, and Maharashtri in Maharashtra region. Now these Prakrits later on degenerated into another form, and that is called Apabhramsha. And from these Apabhramshas emerged the language of the modern times, these regional languages.
Excuse me, ma'am, in what forms were the literature of this period available to us?
Thank you for your interesting question. It is to be kept in mind that whatever was written during that time, it was written manually, and it is still available in manuscript forms, as the printing did not come, was not actually discovered at that time, and so no question of printed works. So everything was copied and written manually, and the mode or medium of literature was these manuscripts. The earliest specimen, once again, of the early Bengali language, which was called Gauro Prakrit, was the Chorjapad. Now, what were these Chorjapads? You can make out from the very word pod that these were compositions in verse, not prose. Composed by whom? By the Buddhist monks belonging to the Mahayana sect of Buddhism. And these Buddhist monks, here when they came in Bengal and Bihar, they received the patronage of the Buddhist Pala kings. They composed several verses, the Chorja Gitis, hymns, and through these Chorja Gitis, they actually they wanted to reveal the secret of their religion, philosophical discourses, ethics, morality, and the like. Soon after the Pala rule ended, or the Palas gave way to the coming of the Senas, a change took place. Now, who are the Senas? They were patrons of the Sanskrit knowing Brahmin Pandits. Quite naturally, the importance of the Buddhist monks was reduced. They were persecuted, and we find during the Sena rule some important Sanskrit works such as Geet Govindam of Jayadev, Pavan Doot of Dhoi, and a very famous work you must all be knowing, Ramcharit of Sandhya Karanand.